WPIAL Podcast, Trib Live High School Sports Network, continuing our coverage of the high school football postseason. And this podcast presented by Edgar Snyder and Associates. Go local. Go with Edgar, helping injured people since 1982. EdgarSnyder.com. If you have questions or any sort of legal issues, they're there for you. And we appreciate them being there to help sponsor the postseason, which has been kind of one of the great programs in the WPIAL. Well, ironically enough, the two best programs, both adding to their golden collection this year. Aliquippa sits atop with now 21 WPIAL championships, number 21 coming a few weeks ago. And last week we saw Clairton, number 2 on the list, add to their collection, number 15. And this man has been a large part of just about all of them, except when he was maybe he was a ball boy in third grade, who knows. But Coach Wayne Wade of the Clairton Bears. Wayne, first of all, congratulations on all your success and your staff and the team. Really, really impressive 2025 season.
Thanks, Don. Appreciate it. Kids have really worked hard this year. Started back in February for us once we get in the weight room. And we just have a great group of seniors, great group of leadership with this group this year.
Yeah, and it shows. You guys have it's been easy at times, but it has been tough at times. You guys have been challenged, and that senior leadership has helped navigate some tough waters and get a district title, and now one win away from PIAA state championship. Before we start talking about everything, let's go back a year. One of the great championship games that I have witnessed in my many, many years, I go back to when you were playing, was Clairton Fort Cherry, back and forth, just two heavyweights. It was like Hagler Hearns, if you'll remember back in the day, just landing punch after punch, haymaker after haymaker. And they come back and a couple of big fourth down conversions end up winning the game. That had to have been for a very proud program. And I don't think a lot of people thought we're giving you guys much of a chance against then defending champion Fort Cherry and the talented Matt Sieg. Outside of the Bears locker room, probably not a whole lot of people gave you guys much of a chance, but man, you guys laid it all in the line. And we see time and time again, no matter which sport you're talking about, heartbreak in a championship with a lot of players coming back usually leads to success the following season because of that drive.
Correct. And the focus, knowing we were 1 point away, down our quarterback most of the playoffs right. Because of his elbow. So we kind of turned into a one-dimensional team, just really being able to run the ball, knowing the possibilities. So the kids came back very focused, and it showed this year.
Yeah. Before we sort of start talking about various other things, let's give a little love to your quarterback, Jeff Thompson III. Had really a strong junior year, but as you mentioned, out for the postseason because of injury, came back strong. This is still a Bears team that really has success and really relies on a strong ground game, and you had various talented parts on that aspect. But when you guys, put it in the air, you guys had a lot of success thanks in part to Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff, probably one of the smartest quarterbacks as far as knowing what's going on the field, managing the game that I've ever coached here at Clairton. Very intelligent with the game and understanding what we're trying to accomplish on the field, getting the ball to the right guys. And there's talent all around him. So they kind of make it easy for him. With our ground game being so successful, it kind of opens up that secondary when we play action, or we're able to get the guys the ball out in space quick.
All right, back. We lost Coach Wade there for a second. Our apologies. We continue on with the head coach of the Clairton Bears, our Week 14 WPIAL Team of the Week. So you guys have the successful season, and we'll talk about aspects of that as well. Get back to Acrisure Stadium against, again, another classic, a defensive struggle. You like old school football. This was the game you wanted to watch. Both defenses shining bright. You guys up 8-0. They score in the fourth quarter, go for two. Great defensive stand. You guys stopping the run dead in its tracks. So it's 8-6. You have the ball, trying to run it out, but they stop you. So you go into punt formation. And I know there were a lot of people that were critical of the decision. You guys went with a fake punt that came up nowhere close to a first down, and they had the ball right 25, 30-yard line in Clairton territory. And a lot of people were like, what the heck? I'm going to take a guess because I haven't talked to you. But I'm going to guess that decision was born out of the long snapping issues, or am I wrong?
No, it was not a fake punt. So what had happened on our punt before that, our long snapper had a penalty for adjusting the ball. They said he picked the ball up. So when he went to long snap again, he remembered he couldn't adjust the ball. So he kind of was holding the ball kind of funny, not how he wanted to hold it. And he just had a bad snap. It was not a fake. He kind of rolled the ball back, and, Dante just picked it up and tried to get what he could get. But we were looking to punt.
Okay. All right. So there you go. Anyone who is critical of Coach Wade, there you go. There's always an explanation, usually behind those kind of decisions. So not a fake punt, but the defense answered no matter how you want to portray what happened. The defense, and that's been your calling card. You danced with the one that brung you, right?
Absolutely. All year, our defense has played lights out. Even week 0 against Amani Christian, not really having time to prepare, starting the season off. So you haven't made a ton of mistakes yet to fix them and correct them. And, we really played well defensively week 0 against a really good AAA football team. And then it just took off for us. We had 9 straight shutouts. We weren't even letting teams cross the 50-yard line. And it was just because of us being super aggressive up front, us being big up front and strong up front, and then the speed on the back end. Almost all of our linebackers in secondary are 4'6", 4'5" guys. And they fly to the ball.
I had touched base with you before the Laurel Championship game, and that has been their MO and their key to success all year is the big uns up front. And so it was strength on strength. When you had a chance to look back, how did you think that, obviously pretty good, but how did you think on both sides of the ball that your lines held up in a battle in the trenches?
We did, only giving them 6 points. I thought our defense played extremely well, but offensively, we had a few touchdowns called back. We had a few big plays that were called back. We had the 1 touchdown pass to Dante that we felt on that play. We were kind of about, ready to separate from them because we were playing great defensively. But that was just how the game went. A few calls here or there, a couple holding calls downfield. We felt like, if we didn't have them, 28-6, on the 35-6 possibly in that game. So our defense has been our calling card all year. And they showed up again last night.
Yeah, and you talked about, up front, strong, speed everywhere at all 3 levels. But it's still the really great defenses, especially at this level, and really at any level, swarm to the ball. And that's easier said than done. Any coach can go in first day of practice or whenever and preach, we got to swarm to the ball. We got to collectively get to the ball. But that doesn't always happen. The special groups make it happen.
Absolutely. And we talked about it last night on the way home, how the defense swarmed to the ball, how we would
Yeah.
see 5, 6, 7 guys at the tackle. And we've kind of played that way all year. There's drills that we do for that during the week. We start off our defensive day with our pursuit drill every week, and it's just contagious to the kids. They know all 11 have to get to the ball.
And they do. And it's been a big, big story in this 2025 Clairton championship run, which you hope is a double golden run, is the play of the defense. Let's go back to the offense now. We talked about your outstanding quarterback, but again, a lot of success on the ground game. And it's a ground game where you have different weapons. I mean, different kinds of weapons. You have power, you have speed, you have cutability, if you will. In Dion, Michael, and Dante, 3 different backs, and all have been successful.
Yes, and we've that's been our calling card, to be able to get all of those guys the ball offensively, and then when they get the ball, you can see the different styles. Dion kind of has both. He runs with a lot of power, a lot of strength, but he also is very fast.
Yeah.
Michael Ruffing is probably the fastest of the 3. So when he gets the ball, that's all he needs is a crease, a little bit of space. And then what makes Dante so special is that he has that power, but he can make you miss in the phone booth. He'll make 3, 4, 5 guys miss on a run where you're like, how did he get out of that? To have that type of talent along with Jeff's arm, and then guys like Terrace Wooding and Brandon Murphy out on the edge catching the ball, it makes our offense hard to stop.
Yeah, Wooding and Murphy have been weapons as well on special teams. It's a very important part of the game, especially once you get into November, that we in the media don't always talk about. But man, it has come up big for you guys. You had 2 more punt returns against Greenville for touchdowns. Brandon Murphy having both of those, but it really is impressive when you're talking about Class A football to thrive, because these young men are playing they don't rest. They're playing offense, they're playing defense, and when there's a punt or a kickoff, you're telling them, hey, get out there, get back out there. So to thrive at that aspect's got to be a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, it really is. And we started the beginning of the year talking about that. Once we look at our roster and only having 26, 27 guys in uniform, we always talk about being in shape. And we have to be the best in shape team that hit the field. So our conditioning is grueling during the summer. We really push the kids to get in shape, because we know they're going to have to go both ways. And most of the time, they're going to have to log in some minutes on special teams as well.
Yep, indeed. Wade of Clairton, kind of to Joyce. I know your total focus is on Thursday's state championship game as well. It should be, but I want to sort of glimpse into the future. Brandon Murphy, sophomore, already getting some D1 looks and interest. Seems to be the next great Clairton Bears player, at least early on in his career. He's the kind of guy that next year as a junior, like the greats, Tyler Boyd, Lamont Wade, those guys, where you have to find ways as a coach to get the ball in his hands.
Yes, and we will. We have some younger kids coming up from our Little League program that we're really looking at to be pieces to our team next year that are really talented. We have an 8th grader who's received a few D1 offers already. So we're excited about him being a part of the team next year. But Murphy is just a football player. Anywhere we put the kid on the field, he just makes it happen.
Yeah.
If you've watched the game last night, he played some corner for us. He played some safety for us. He's down in the box playing linebacker. But, one thing that he does really well that he hasn't been able to do this year is run the ball. All through Little League for Brandon, he's always been the star running back. Well, you have Dion, Michael, and Dante this year. So he had to kind of be on the back burner for that and go to receiver, which he's done an excellent job. But you know, wait till you guys see him run the ball next year. He's a heck
Yeah.
of a running back.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Hey, let's give some kudos to you and your staff to come up with the on the punt return, the second punt return for a score, the lateral again, and then go 75 yards. What a gem of a game plan by you guys.
Well, we practice that a little bit. Just telling the kids to be athletes. So if you watch our 2-point plays, when we do our 2-point plays,
Yeah.
we just want to get our kids in space and allow them to be athletes. So on kickoff or punt, you'll see that out of us when we're setting up a wall or we have a certain return on. We always try to have an extra guy there to help. That if we can lateral it to him, with that skill set, they may be able to make something happen.
But if one of those laterals rolls inside the 5-yard line and is up for grabs, then all of a sudden
it's time to play defense.
Old riverboat gambler. And when you play defense the way you do, why not, right?
Right.
A familiar face in the championship game at Cumberland Valley, Bishop Guilfoyle, third time that you guys will see the Marauders in the championship. First one, or the first two didn't go as well as the Bears would have liked. It's hard to believe it's been 11 years already since that controversial 1-point loss to Bishop Guilfoyle in Hershey. And then a couple years later, 2016, the Marauders with the 17-0 win. They're still one of the great programs in not only District 6, but also the PIAA, having won state gold a year ago. A tough test. No, they're not a dominant team, as we almost saw last week with Westinghouse nearly knocking them off. But, man, they're very good.
They are very good. Very sound. Coach Fuller does a great job with his team. Very disciplined. They're going to be where they're supposed to be. So teams like that, you just have to beat them. Your guys have to be better than their guys. They have to want it more. They have to win each down. That's what we preach and teach to our guys on offense. We just want to execute every play. And then on defense, we want to fly around and dominate. And if each kid wins his matchup each play, then we win each down. So hopefully we'll be able to do that against them. But my hat's off to them and their program, Coach Wheeler. They're always there. They're always in the picture. And they always come to play.
Western Pennsylvania will be lifting gold one way or another, either District 7 or District 6, Thursday, 1 o'clock at Cumberland Valley, the Clairton Bears against the Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders. Before I let you go, a couple other things that I wanted to touch on. You mentioned the youth program, and that's so important to what you guys and, the Aliquippas and the Thomas Jeffersons and the great programs year in and year out. The youth program is so vital because great players are going to come and go. You guys don't have a wide open space to have players just coming into. It's got to start there. And I would imagine that the new stadium, Tyler Boyd Stadium, which, kudos to the city and the school district for working hard to get it done. Boy, that's going to be a boost to not only the high school level product, but also the youth program.
For sure. And that was the push for the program. That was the push for the stadium. That was the push for the turf, that it wouldn't only enhance the high school program, but our Little League program that uses the facilities as well. And our Little League program has been strong for many years. Actually, this year we had 3 teams out of the 4 in the championship game. So the future is bright with the Little League program. The facilities are being upgraded that they're able to use. So, it's only sky's the limit for us. Yeah. If we can continue to have our Little League program produce the athletes it's producing.
You're a Clairton man, young man, a lifer, if you will. I thought it was pretty neat. And I don't know if it's happened before. I can't recall, but I can't recall a lot of things. So, don't rely on me. But the fact that Wayne Wade against Brian Cooper as a player in the 1989 championship game, Clairton versus Laurel. And then the two bring their alma maters back against each other in the WPIAL championship game. Both, by the way, you have bragging rights on now. I thought that was awesome. Compare the feelings of when you won that 89 championship as the quarterback compared to you've won many now as a defensive coordinator and a head coach, but this one in particular, once again, going up against Coach Cooper.
Well, I mean, comparing them as a player to a coach is much different. As a player back in '89, it was us as a team. With the guys that I played with, like Ramondo Williams and Chad Lick and all of those guys, great football team. But as a coach, you're coaching for your team. So it's more for them than it is for you as a coach. But in '89, it was for us as a team, as a player.
Yeah. I talked, I think, last year to Bill Cherpak, head coach at Thomas Jefferson, and I said, it is amazing. I thought about this before I talked to him, how, the great state of Pennsylvania, how huge it is. And consistently over the last 30 years, how this little nook in southwestern Pennsylvania of Clairton and West Jefferson Borough, how dominant those two programs have been, Thomas Jefferson and Clairton, and you guys are neighbors, and it's kind of amazing how much talent has come out of that little area.
Yeah, and one time, actually before Thomas Jefferson had their high school, all of that was Clairton, because Route 51 that kind of separates both schools boundary-wise was all Clairton before they built the school out in Thomas Jefferson, and then it became a rival. Clairton and Thomas Jefferson used to play each other all the time, and I remember my dad telling me stories about them playing Thomas Jefferson and how, it was every year that no matter what was going on, you had to beat Thomas Jefferson. And then as the area started to grow, it kind of turned into a
All right, we're back with Coach Wade. That's 2 interruptions, one more strike, and we're out. So let's get to try to wrap this up. We were talking about the area of Thomas Jefferson and Clairton, and that sort of leads me to my last question for you, Coach. You guys sort of experienced this this past year, but we've seen more and more over the last couple of years games during the regular season that have not been played because teams with low roster numbers unable to either banged up or sick or whatever, but unable to field a team. School districts, I think, are leaning more on the side of safety, of caution, so to speak. Are we getting to the point where this kind of surfaces every once in a while? But there are, you look in the East, and they're all 6A, 5A, 4A schools, and only a couple of Class A schools, and they're part of the reason why we're now in 6 classifications. But here in southwestern Pennsylvania, it's the other way around. We're struggling in 6A with competitive football, and there's a ton of schools in Class A. Are we getting to the point where schools, not so much you guys because of the success of the whole entire program going back to youth football, but some of these teams that are struggling to get numbers need to look at either doing a co-op or merging? I mean, are we getting to that point or not so much?
I think with the number of teams, we're not there yet in single A and double A because there's a lot of flip-flopping in single A and double A every 2-year cycle. But, there are some programs that are struggling in single A and double A that could probably co-op with neighboring schools or actually merge. And I think Center and Monaca is a great example. of, two programs with good history, especially Monaca. But it was the best thing for that program to merge. And Central Valley has been, a dominating football team since. So, I think a lot of these small towns don't want to let go of
Right.
the history and the pride and the community. But that could still be there, if those programs merge and do like Central Valley.
Wayne, you said it perfectly. And I said this during one of our scoreboard shows where there was a game or two that particular week that wasn't played. I said, I know that the school districts don't want to let go of their history, but what are we talking about if you're going to be 0-9, mercy ruled most of the time, and a couple times you can't even field a team? What kind of history are you holding on to? I mean, at that point, do what's best for the kids. And again, I don't, even if you don't want to merge school districts, because that's more than just a football thing, that's a whole eco thing.
Correct.
But maybe if you have 16 players getting ready for a season in August, you're going to be in trouble because there's always injuries. And once you get into the change of season, there's going to be illness. So maybe those programs really do need to look at some sort of co-op with a neighboring district, because it does nobody any good when you're just barely fielding a team.
You're right. Those are tough games, and for us,
Yeah,
we had a few this year.
right,
We're not sure if we're going to play that week.
right.
We had a team in Shadyside who didn't even play us this
Yep.
year, and then finished the rest of their season. We had a team in Springdale who forfeited the week before we were playing them, and we didn't think we were going to play that week. So you're talking about 2 weeks of the season where it's like a bye week for us,
Yeah.
and it's tough to take on that.
Well,
not
you
have the
only
uncertainty.
these kids only have a limited amount of games, high school games in their career. To randomly take away 1, 2, 3, it's bad for everybody.
It is. It's bad. It's bad for everyone. And I
Yeah.
think, for District 7, they just need to take a look at some of the programs that historically have, had down seasons and, 1 or 2 winning seasons, and see what they can do as far as co-op or merging.
Right, because I think that you have an idea as a coach, what you have coming back, and if you don't have much coming up, from the middle school, and you don't, you're having trouble getting the athletes to come out for the football team because of the struggles, and that might be the best bet way ahead of time. Don't wait till August. Do it
Right.
in the late winter, early spring, so that everybody can be on board, and so I'm sure it's not difficult to find a school to co-op with, because schools are always worried about their numbers if they bring in another program. But
Right. And then they can just co-op with certain sports.
right,
That doesn't mean,
right,
they have to lose their basketball team or lose their
right.
track team or whatever. They just co-op for football, which,
Yep.
For some schools, I think it would be smart for them to do that. That historically, have losing seasons.
A great point. A great point. And you can have, it could be a benefit. I mean, we've seen, Western Beaver, they took on the Lincoln Park students, and now their football team is doing well. They're in 2A now, but they're doing well. So there's something to be said for that as well. Good stuff. Always. Wayne Wade, head coach of the Clairton Bears. We wish you nothing but the best on Thursday against Bishop Goodwill. It's been a while. Let's bring home some PIAA state gold to Clairton.
Yeah, we need that gold ball.
That's right. That's right.
We're tired of the silver one. We need to bring home
Nothing but silver.
Ball.
That's right. Double gold is what the Bears are shooting for.
There it is.
Coach Wade, thanks, my friend.
No doubt, Don. Thanks for having me.
Wayne Wade, coach of the Clairton Bears, our WPIAL Week 14 Team of the Week. We thank him. We thank our sponsor, Edgar Snyder and Associates. Thank you as well to Chris Lackner. I'm Don Rebel. We thank you for joining us. Rebel Yell Podcast, Trib Live, High School Sports Network.